Today's shoot is in this super crazy garage with this amazing pool table and vintage car. Clearly a lot of props and backdrops we can play with here. Literally a photographer's dream. And I cannot wait to show you guys all of the final photos. But what's really cool about this space is that I didn't really go out searching for it. It kind of came to me in a way, which definitely does not happen often as a photographer. I feel like I'm normally location scouting, doing a bunch of research, looking on Peerspace for something that will fit the vibe, and it's sometimes not easy. Actually, most of the time, it's not easy. Me and my friend Allie went over to Red Hook, Brooklyn to explore and just have a day. I was already loving the area because there was like vintage cars on every street corner. It was just very photogenic. And that's when we came across this garage, basically. The store owner invited us in because he saw us taking pictures of each other and was like, I got something for you. And right when we walked in this space, we both knew that we had to do a photo shoot here. So that's what we did. We communicated with the store owner on a date and a rate that would work with him. And we started to make it happen. We reached out to a model, a makeup artist, worked on a mood board, and the shoot started to come together. Before we get into the shoot itself, I have a little bit of shoot preparation that I want to do before for a certain concept. Me and Allie came across this image on Pinterest of this girl beside a pool table with a little glass of whiskey, and we really wanted to recreate this sort of vibe. Maybe not the exact shot itself, but we basically loved how the glass of whiskey looked in that sort of setting, and with the space that we're shooting in today, it would just look perfect. So I could of course bring real ice, but I am not sure how long this shoot is gonna last, and ice melts. So I thought today I could make fake ice and it could last the entire shoot and we won't have to worry about if it's gonna melt. I looked on Amazon and I found products people were using to make fake ice or fake water, and I came across this. It's called Encapso-K, and I'm actually obsessed with the packaging. It literally looks like it's straight out of the 90s. I ordered it on Amazon and it came within a few days. It actually was saying that it would come like the day before the shoot, so I was panicking a little bit, but here it is and we have the time to make it. On the back it says it's for artificial flowers and creating a fake looking sort of water effect in a vase. So it says to arrange the flowers, mix equal parts of the solution inside, and then just pour it. It turns into a solid, soft rubber overnight. So it'll last a long time. The only thing is we just have to wait a whole day for it to like kind of set. And to make it look like real ice, I have this ice tray that I very much use every day. And then I bought this flat looking block sort of ice tray that I thought I could cut the ice or maybe like break it to make it look a little bit more realistic. So let's open it up and try this out. For the whiskey part of it all, I thought I could use like real whiskey or I could use like a tea. So I'll figure that out later. I feel like that's a little bit more easy to do. This one says it's part A and then this is part B. Let's get into it. Oh my God, okay. Oh my God. Okay, let's try this first just because this is definitely a little bit bigger and I want to make sure we have enough room for both. There we go. And I mean, we only really need one ice cube at the end of the day from this, so I feel like we're gonna be just fine. And then I'll use the rest on the big guy here. Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay, oh my God. I feel like I need a little bit more. You know what, that's fine. Okay, and I'm gonna do a little bit of mixy mix. Yeah. It's funny because I literally could just like bring a cooler with the ice, but this is more fun. All right, so I'll come back to you tomorrow and we'll see how this looks. All right, it is now some days later. I let the fake ice do its thing. This one is looking good. This one is like rock solid, like you can kind of see there. Really smooth. I'm gonna just have to cut into this one. This one, I don't know what's going on. Like it actually does really look like ice, but if you can see that, it's like not completely dried all the way, and I literally let this sit for like days. I'm serious. So hopefully when I fully take this one out, it will be okay. I don't know how much faith I have here, but we'll see what goes on. I'm gonna go ahead and start packing up my stuff. I have a big long kind of list of things I'm gonna bring today. So let's get started with kind of getting all of that together. Other than the fake ice we'll obviously be bringing along. Some other stuff we did in preparation for this shoot was earlier today, me and Allie, who are working on the shoot together, we went to our friend Montana's studio in Brooklyn. She has a studio with a ton of vintage clothes that she will host certain events and pop-ups to the public where they can come in and shop her kind of collection. And if you remember, we actually worked with her a few weeks back on that shoot where we kind of frolicked through that sort of like meadow park upstate New York. And seriously, the photos came out so great, and I swear it was also the fact that she is just a great stylist for herself as well. So we decided to contact her and see if she can lend some pieces to us. We just took the morning and kind of perused what she had to offer, and she is being so kind in lending us some clothes for the shoot today. I'm gonna link her shop down below if you're interested, but her Instagram is Montana Vintage Co, and she's just the best ever. Other than that, we have a long checklist for things that I need to bring for the shoot. So let's go through together so we can check all this off. So first off, obviously we have the fake ice. I went ahead and bought some whiskey, and then I also need to bring a glass for that whole sort of situation. I also have written down here a big plastic tarp, and this is because there is gonna be some like ceiling windows that let in a lot of light, and in case that it's really too direct or too harsh, we wanna put this sort of tarp over it to minimize and sort of stabilize the light a little bit so it's not too direct. I also have a table, tape, a reflector, a changing tent for the model, a fisheye lens, a speaker, aerosol spray, and if you're familiar with that, that is that sort of can that you can spray smoke out of, and it's a little bit easier than a fog machine. I feel like fog machines are super awesome, but at the same time, they tend to really smoke up a space that you're in, and I feel like the aerosol spray is a little bit better when you want a more confined sort of smoke that will dissipate a little bit quicker. A small RGB light, an extension cord, some snacks, clamps for the clothes in case they're too big on the model or we need to kind of like tighten something, a steamer, and a ring light for the makeup artist that she can best see what she's working on. So lots to bring, lots to load up the car with, but it's sort of inevitable that I'm going to forget some things or arrive and not have something that I even wrote down, but I feel like that's just how shoot goes. It can never be super perfect, and you just have to be okay with that. I am super excited though because I just got a new camera bag. If you guys are familiar with my what's in my camera bag videos, I always use Nomadic's Peter McKinnon collab, and I previously had the 25 length, and this time they sent through the 35 length, so this bag is ginormous and I am obsessed with it. I already sort of started packing through what I want to bring, and it fits so much stuff, but I am seriously so excited about this. And if you guys are interested in seeing maybe an updated what is in my camera bag, definitely let me know in the comments. I would be more than happy to make one. We're packing the car. It just changed. Finished packing my car.
By the speeding van.
It looks okay back here. I just have like 2 big bags, but my trunk on the other hand is literally packed to the brim. So I'm hoping Allie doesn't have too much stuff. I think she mainly just has the clothes we're shooting with, so we should be good. So we arrived at the space and I immediately started to unpack everything and see how the rest of the fake ice turned out. The giant block of ice was actually really satisfying to break apart. I feel like the imperfections of it really made it look convincing as real ice. I want to bite it. It's kind of giving ice a little bit. I then put the ice in a glass with some of the whiskey and started organizing the props and the clothes as well. We gave Jade, who was doing hair and makeup, some of the inspiration shots we were going for from the mood board that we wanted to base the first look off of. We wanted to go with a really dramatic eyeliner and a sort of nostalgic hair look for this. The inspiration I wrote up said shimmering lids complemented by bold, defined eyeliner, which I feel like Jade really nailed here. And I just feel like it's super cool to see different artists like Jade here come together with me as a photographer and kind of bring her own talents into the final photos and kind of put her own twist on it as well. We only had the space for a few hours though, so once they were finished, we had Erin change into the first look that Allie put together and we got right into shooting. We had her in this sort of athletic yellow long sleeve paired with a vest and a patterned skirt. Allie is just super good at putting outfits together, and with all the clothes that we got from Montana, I just absolutely loved how the colors came together and really made her pop from the purple pool table and the sort of industrial looking location. For the lighting, we actually ended up using a ring light for a lot of these shots, which was not planned. I actually brought it for Jade to use for the makeup, but we ended up actually really liking how it lit our model Erin, so we just decided to go for it. I think that's because the space was already doing a really good job at lighting itself from the natural light that was pouring in, and I just feel like the ring light did a really great job at being Erin's direct light source. Here and there we also added in the gold side of a reflector that was bouncing some of the light from the skylight onto Erin's face as well. I always seem to aim for a sort of warmer sort of light on my models, and that was no different this time around. For gear, I was using my Nikon Z9 along with a 24-70 f 2.8 lens, and then also switched on a 70-200 f 2.8 lens for a few where I wanted to get a more shallow depth of field and sort of separate her from the background. I also had a Cinesoft lens filter on at a half strength, so that's why a lot of these images sort of have a nice little glow to them. It's definitely a unique look and not for everyone, but I've been absolutely loving it for taking more cinematic portraits recently. Erin did such a great job posing with the fake ice and the whiskey. I had her sort of hold it up to her face a bit and play with some reflections we were getting from the ring light, and I was just loving every second of it. I always find it so fun shooting with a small little team like this. Me and Allie are always bouncing lighting ideas and posing ideas off one another, and we both walked away with some super interesting shots. Erin also made our job super easy with the posing because it was just so good. I feel like really the only direction I gave her was to just hold a certain pose. She was just killing it overall. Alright, after all of that, Erin jumped back into hair and makeup for the next look we had in mind. Since we got a lot of great shots with the pool table, we wanted to move on over to the car that was in the space. Jade wet her hair for this, touched up her makeup a bit, and we were good to go. I really love planning two different hair and makeup looks and kind of having them just bounce off each other and make the transition super seamless in a way, like keeping the same makeup look but just wetting the hair. You're able to get so much variety with just one little change. For clothing, we had Erin change into this amazing white vintage dress that we got from Montana earlier, and the whole vibe was just feeling very Lana Del Rey. I was very into it. And for the car shots, I had a 2-light setup going. We ditched the ring light for this. I had one Moelis X60 from Zune as a sort of backlight, casting a red light towards the back of the car and onto Erin. And then I had another Moelis X60 for this with a Westcott optical spot attached that casted a really bright, warm, direct light onto her from the front. And I just played around with the positioning and brightness of these lights until it felt right. It's tempting to just constantly change up the lighting and the colors and get a lot of variety, but once I have a good thing going, I need to just remind myself to be satisfied and just capture what I have. So that's what I did here. We just kept this lighting the same throughout all the photos, and I was just obsessed with how cinematic these were turning out. I also noticed I shot the majority of these photos horizontally, and I kind of didn't even realize that when I was doing it. I think it was just like a subconscious thing. It just made sense with the car and the composition, and I think definitely added to the feeling of them being more cinematic. We even sprayed a little bit of that aerosol spray in the car that I brought along with me to make it look even more moody. And again, Erin did such a great job with the posing. I could have seriously shot this setup for hours, but I knew that was unrealistic. We only had the space for, I think it was 4 hours in total, so we tried to focus 2 hours on the first look and then the other 2 on this look. So I just made sure to shoot every possible angle I could think of in that moment, and I walked away with some images I was truly happy about. that was it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and seeing how all of the final photos turned out. I personally love filming these videos and showing a little bit more about the process of how final photos come to be, from, you know, working on a mood board to reaching out to the model, the makeup artist, even making fake ice. I feel like it just goes to show that photography isn't just pressing a button as much as some people love to say that it is. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, give this video a thumbs up to let me know. And a huge thank you to Jade, Allie, Erin, the owner of the space. And if you're curious, all of the photos that I showed throughout this video, they were all edited with a mixture of Photoshop and then my editing app Tint. It's available on iOS. So if you have an iPhone, give it a download and play around with the presets. For all these photos, I think I used Burn. It's a free preset on there and I use it on literally every single photo that I share at this point because it's the best. All right, with all that, I will see you guys soon. Bye.